Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Hammerhead, and I hope you're having an amazing day. So, it's the new year. It's the new year. I hope you're having a great new year so far. I can't believe it. Time flies so fast when you're having fun. Last year, great year. This year is also gonna be an amazing year. Because it's a new year, means it's a new month, which means it's time for December favorites. Crowd goes wild. And before we get into it, if you could do me a favor and like this video and subscribe for all the future videos, I would really appreciate it. And let me know, what were you loving in the month of December? Was it a book? Was it a song? Was it a movie? Mama wants to know. Okay, let's get into it. First and foremost, one of my favorite fashion pieces I was loving in the month of December was this wool jacket. Okay, yeah. Okay, right. We see her, we love her. Here's like the full length her on. I think, oh my gosh, I love this jacket so much. It is from the 70s. It's vintage. It's beautiful. Literally, like, she's so precious. She is so precious. I got her at a vintage shop in Brick Lane, and honestly, for the price that I paid for her, she was more expensive than what I usually get my thrifted clothing for. However, she is in such good shape. She's from the 70s. I've never seen a jacket like her before. I was okay spending, but I spent for her. If you're curious, if you're in London, this is where I got this jacket and another one of my coats that I really love. I really like that store, and I think for all their pieces, they were pretty reasonably priced. They were fur coats for like $100. You know, it felt real, like, and reasonable, because there were some stores on Brick Lane, God bless, I was like, I'm not paying £40, 40 pounds for a t-shirt. Anyway, side tangent, but I love this jacket. I think she is just so darling, so precious. The fur on the collar, the fur at the bottom, the sleeves are a little bit short, but honestly, I don't care. I just wear longer, like a sweater underneath, and I'm fine. But like the coat fits my shoulders perfectly. She's so long, has such like a great, when like she flows when you walk, like the bottom is like pretty, it's like more of like a bell shape. So whenever you walk, the bottom just kind of like flows and bounces out. It just adds a really beautiful silhouette. And I love a piece of interesting outerwear. I want my outerwear to be interesting and fun and unique and different. And, you know, I have a black puffer coat because, you know, everyone needs a black puffer coat. But whenever I want to be a little bit elevated, a little bit more fun, oh my gosh, she's just such a great jacket. I love this coat so much, and I wore her a lot in the month of December. Next fashion favorite is this brown vest tank top thing. She is Tommy Hilfiger. It's like just a cotton brown vest, but I think it's really cute. Sometimes I need a staple. Sometimes I have way too many fun pieces that it's like, oh yeah, like I love a statement piece, do not get me wrong. Most of my closet is a statement piece, but whenever you have so many statement pieces, you need to have the basics to let the statement pieces shine. We know this. So I thrifted this one. It's 100% cotton, which is I really liked. I'm trying to incorporate more total or mostly natural fibers into my closet. So I was really drawn to that. And it's just like a really nice light layering piece. I can wear a sweater over it. I can wear thermal under it, and it's pretty warm, but I think it's really cute. I will say I wore this with a thermal under it, and my sister said I looked like a Shrek villager, so there's that. However, I got to wear her a lot. I just think it's a really nice, fun layering piece. And she's really thin, so she's able to go under sweaters and not feel too bulky. All right, up next we have my black carpenter jeans. I thrifted these back in Houston. I think they were probably like $1 or something. And I love these jeans. They're Wranglers, and they're so interesting. They have all these pockets on the side. They are very utilitarian. They're very industrial looking pants, and they're honestly, for jeans, they're a pretty thin jean, but they're also very soft and comfortable. So I really like wearing these because they have a very straight leg. They're very loose, but wearing them with thermals underneath is so nice because you're warm, but you have a fun layer on the outside. And these are pretty low slung. I think they're just like a really nice, interesting pant. If you want to change up the silhouette of an outfit, I think these are really good. And they're also like just like a washed black. Like, they're just a really comfortable jean to wear, and they're a fun jean to style. I like wearing these with like t-shirts, with sweaters. Honestly, they go with every single thing, and they just make every outfit look a little bit more like grittier and grungier, which isn't always my vibe, but I guess that was my vibe for December because these were reached for a lot last month. All right, next up, we have this scarf. I have no idea where I got the scarf, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't be surprised if I thrifted it, but I'm not quite sure. I think I thrifted it from Goodwill. But this is the front and this is the back. It's a beautiful scarf. I have another pink scarf right there. I love bright accessories. Like I said, I'm a maximalist. I want interesting textures and colors and flavors of clothing. So I really, really love the pattern of this scarf because when you fold it, it shows both sides, back and front. This one's a little bit cooler pinks. These are a little bit warmer pinks. And it just creates like such an interesting look. And so whenever I would wear this usually with like my black puffer coat, and it kept me A, so warm, but B, I was able to, like, whenever it was really cold, put it over my nose, keep my face warm. But it also just added such a bright pop of color on an otherwise dull outfit. And I think that was just such a nice, like, part. Here's a picture of me at Stonehenge when it was literally below freezing, so cold. The wind chill was crazy. It was bananas. I was so freezing. But look how cute she looks with that little scarf, right? Right? Even whenever it's below freezing and you are dying because of the wind, having a good colorful scarf, it takes the cake. She comes in clutch. We love her. And the last fashion/beauty item of December favorites would be this Sephora mini palette. It has 3 eyeshadows. It's a quad. No, it's a tri. It's a trio. It's a trio. And I got this with my friend before we went on our Europe trip last summer. And first of all, how gorgeous are these? We got this for our trip and we're like, yeah, like whenever we go out, we're gonna like put on like the eyeshadow and we're gonna do it. We did not go out. This did not get used on our Europe trip. I think maybe once. I have gone out a few times, just a few times this month, but I've been really loving this purple and blue eyeshadow. They are so pretty. Oh my gosh, I feel like a guru. They're just so pretty and iridescent, and they're also really easy to build up, and they just look so gorgeous. And I think especially those two, because I have very brown eyes, they make my eyes pop and just look so brown and warm and inviting. I really like this eyeshadow. I don't use it too much, but whenever I want like just like a little bit more for a night out, I'm going to go to dinner, going to go out to the club, I think I've been reaching for this a little bit more recently, and I've been really, really loving the eyeshadow looks I've been doing. And also, here's the thing. It's so easy because usually it's like with like mattes and like a smoky eye, you got to blend that out. You got to make sure you're ready to do a smoky eye. But with this one, because it's just shimmers, you don't really have to try too hard because you can mess up and it's still going to look really beautiful because it's all shimmery. It's like a foolproof, so quick, easy way to elevate your makeup look and just look so fun. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay. Now let's move on to our favorite experiences for the month of December. Number 1, house hunting. House hunting can get a really bad rep here, and don't get me wrong, it was an extremely stressful time. Whoa, mama, it was so stressful. But I had a week where I wasn't really working a lot, like during like the weekdays. So honestly, it was really nice because I could just go to like 4 viewings in a day. If you haven't seen my house hunting vlog, you can go check it out here. We're actually moving today. I'm meeting up with my friend who's flying in from America today at her flat in a few hours. I was like, I need to film this real fast, so hey. It was really fun going to all these different places, and I don't know, yeah, house hunting is very tedious and it's very stressful and tiring, like don't get me wrong, but it's also very fun to like imagine where you're gonna live, what your life is gonna look like there, imagine the furniture you're gonna get, like the activities you're gonna do there with your roommate. Just imagining all that stuff, it really just makes the experience really exciting, and you know, it gets you like, oh my gosh, like I have a new life coming up, you know, I have a new chapter of my life coming up. I did have a really good time house hunting and just exploring the world and just checking out different flats and finally finding the right place and, you know, getting it all squared away. And honestly, like our house hunting, it kind of went off without a hitch. Like everything went really smoothly. It was really easy to do the offer, negotiate things, sign the things, get everything paid for, get the keys, do all the stuff. Like there was not really any problems, which is so rare, and I'm so thankful. I count my lucky stars because that's not always the story, and I'm just very, very happy. So also pro tip, if you're ever planning to move in London, I would recommend moving not in the summer but in the winter because people are still moving. It's a very transient city. It's, you know, people are moving. However, there's so much less competition, and also people need to get things rented, so they will go for a lower price. So that is a tip. Whenever I was like looking for a place in the summer, it was the worst thing in the world. It was horrible. But looking at housing in the winter, so much easier, so much better. Highly recommend. Number 2, my family came here for the holidays and we traveled all over. We went to Bristol, we went to Bath, and we went to Stonehenge, and I really loved going to Stonehenge with my family. We went to Stonehenge, and then we went to the Old Sarum Castle, and it was just so much fun going to this place that, like, I don't know about y'all, but in our computer room, like growing up, like 2005, in our computer room, the Windows XP or whatever it was, like that screensaver, it was Stonehenge. So like I've grown up looking at that image since I was like 5 years old. And so seeing that image and, you know, being like, oh, it's so old, and then going to go see it with my family, it was just a really cool experience. And then also just seeing like my family kind of geek out a little bit and just get so excited about the history here and exploring a new place. Like that was just really fun. And then at Old Sarum Castle, like my dad was just like, I don't know, he was just like, it was so cute. It was just so fun seeing my family like explore this new place and take pictures and just get so excited about like the English countryside and the history here and all that stuff. It was just a very sweet moment. And it was just very fun. Even though we were all freezing cold, it was just so fun to be spending and exploring, you know, the different cities and history with my family here. And then my last experience would be seeing Hamilton with my family. I've been listening to Hamilton since I was 16. I've been listening to it for 10 years now. When I went to the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville and I had to drive like 10 hours by myself in a car, I listened to the Hamilton soundtrack not once, but twice. And every time I'd be like, okay, this time I'm gonna be this person, this person, this person, this person. And then when I listened to the second time, I'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna be this person, this person, this person, this person. Like I literally, I love that musical so much. I saw it before in Austin and that one was pretty good, but seeing it on the West End was really good. They were really good. They were so good. I did not cry at the Austin one. I was very emotional during it, but I was like, it's pretty good. This one, the actors have just, it's so funny. I've listened to this musical a million times. And even on the millionth and one time that I'm watching it in the theater and I'm seeing actors make different choices, they're doing something different, and it creates a different story overall for that character. I think it's so interesting, like live theater, how truly every single performance, even though the same story is told, there's different nuances. There are different takes. You know, two plays are ever going to be shown the same because every single thing is going to be a little bit different. And that creates a different relationship and tension between us and between the characters. So it was just so interesting. I had so much fun. I loved watching Hamilton. I love the West End. I can't wait to watch another play. I don't know what I'm going to watch, but I want to watch something soon. But I loved seeing Hamilton with my family, and they loved it. So that was also the cherry on top. Now let's get on to my favorite media for the month of December. Let's start off with songs. I have a few that I really loved last month. Number 1, Pumps by Snow White. I've never heard of her, but I love that song. I love that song. There's like the one part of the song, like the main, like the bridge, I don't know, the bridge. I think it's the bridge. It's like whenever they have like an interlude talking thing, and then the part right after that, holy cow, the way that like makes me want to just like walk on a catwalk. It's so good. The music goes in between, like oscillates between your headphones. It's stunning. I love that song. Go listen to it. So fun. Go Go Juice by Sabrina Carpenter. That was also up there. I'm in an album club and we listened to Man's Best Friend last month, and that was one of my favorite songs from that album. So I was just listening to it a lot. So fun. Next would be Stateside by Pink Pantheress featuring Zara Larsson. That song, I was just queuing it up. I said, more please, because here's the thing. I've been flying stateside, kissing my Swedish boy on FaceTime. Who knew opening up would make me your headline? Boots. That's my ego boost. Schedule ain't been loose for a minute. Yeah, I'm that girl. I've been it. Whoa. So I've been loving that song. That's on my January playlist as well. So it's a good one. It's a good one. Yes, Baby by Madison Beer. I don't know a lot of Madison Beer songs. However, I do think that song is one of the best songs ever made. I love that song. I love that song. I think I put it on my best songs ever playlist. It's the beat of it is just, it makes you want to dance. It makes you want to conquer the world. It makes you want to go on a walk and like hot girl walk. It's so good. Oh my gosh. That song I think has been on my last like 6 monthly playlists. I genuinely cannot get enough of that song. Like, I just remember I was walking to a bar class, listening to that song, you know, feeling the music, feeling it, like getting ready for like to go work out, looking at like the full moon and the bright moonlight and being like, yes, yes, everything I want is mine. Yes, like manifesting to the song, manifesting with the moon. It just felt so good. So I've always loved that song, but I was really loving it last month. There were lots of good songs I was listening to last month, but the last one is Century by SD Kid. Yes, I was introduced to him by all the Heated Rivalry edits. We will get into that in a second. You know, everyone's making like Ilya edits to that song, which it makes sense. It makes sense. But I love his accent. I love his music. I love his lyrics. And genuinely over the past it's January 4th right now. The past 4 days, like literally yesterday, I could not stop listening to Four Raws. I think I listened to that song probably 40 times yesterday. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I can't get enough of SD Kid. So shout out Century for introducing me to him. Anyway, let's move on to my favorite TV shows for December. I was watching and loving Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's not, the last seasons are not as good as the original seasons. However, I'm still enjoying it. And I only have 2 episodes left. I've never finished it. I think when I first watched it, I think I watched like 5 out of 8 seasons, but I'm just going to finish it off because I got it. I want to finish it out. I want to finish it through, finish strong. Also, the other show I was loving, would you guess it? It was Heated Rivalry. Oh my gosh. Wow. I read the book last month. We'll get into that in a second. But I watched the show, and I think that the show is so amazing. I think the show, every single aspect of the show is phenomenally done. Truly, the acting is incredible. The costuming is incredible. The way that they had a budget, they said, we have a budget and we can't go over this budget. And they still made sure to give us cinematic scenes, beautiful shots, beautiful acting, beautiful writing, very well thought out sequences and, you know, needle drops. And like they were so intentional. And also, like, even whenever there were supposed to be background actors and, you know, there was supposed to be a lot of people in, like, say, a press junket or whatever, but they specifically only had the camera on Ilya and Shane, and they only had like a camera flash and murmurs from like the audience, so you can't see their faces, but you know that they're supposed to be there. I think that really adds something to the story. I think it's a very creative way of getting around that budget, but also making it feel like it's like you are only focused on them and their story and how they feel. Having like a press junket be faceless was an interesting choice because it kind of just, it dehumanizes all like the outside voice, and like it's so interesting. That show is so freaking good, and I love it. And I still haven't seen the finale. I love my family. I'm so glad they came to visit me for the holidays. I'm so blessed. But I haven't finished Heated Rivalry, and I need to, even though I know how it ends. I read the book. I need to finish it. I need to go to the cottage. Guys, I need to go to the cottage. And then it was not one of my favorites, but I did finish Stranger Things. And it was fine. Honestly, actually, I'm going to pull up one of my friends' reviews of it because honestly, that's exactly how I feel. So spoiler alert, if you have not seen Stranger Things, don't go to this timestamp. So my friend said, some beautiful moments, but wasn't a fan of the ending, ... I'm annoyed none of the main characters died, TBH. 5 seasons and nobody? And don't say Elle, because we all expected her to be gone anyways. Honestly, that's kind of how I feel. It just felt very disappointing. And yeah, I enjoyed the epilogue and how it wrapped up everyone's characters, but also like an hour of that, it was just, I'll get into a dissection of Stranger Things later, but I finished it. Hooray. Also, I didn't watch a movie this month. I didn't watch a movie last month, which was kind of crazy for me, but yeah, no movie. All right, now that we've talked about all the favorites, here are the books I read in the month of December. I'm grabbing, if you see me look down, I'm looking at my notes because I wrote notes. Also, if you want to see like the books I read, the movies I watch, I have a Letterboxd and a Goodreads, and they're linked down below. So if you want to check them out, if you want to see some more information. So the first book I read in December was Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. I feel I'm shy to say this, but I think I'd give that book like 3.5, 3. I'd probably give that book like 3 stars. I like the plot. I like the idea of it. However, like the actual world building, character arcs, I think that they were lacking. Like, I did have fun, don't get me wrong, I had fun, and I enjoyed it, but I don't think I would really like go back to it, because like there's some rom-com books that I'm like The Love Hypothesis. That's a very well done rom-com book that I will read over and over again. I just don't think I would read it again. It just felt very flat in terms of like development of characters and development of this. Like it didn't do much for me. And the second book I read is Bury Our Bones and the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. And I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. When I first finished the book, I honestly wasn't a fan, and I was a little bit dissatisfied. I was like, it just felt like the ending was a little rushed and it came out of nowhere. I'm trying to give myself more time once I finish something like a book or a movie to kind of think about it, let it sit with me for a sec, give myself 24 hours before I like really like rate it and kind of like get into it. And as I let this story ruminate and, you know, sink in, I really started to appreciate the story and the journey that we had been on and the ending that culminated in it. And I want to say I really like how every character felt very different. Every character had very clear thought processes and motives, and they were all very distinct, because one of my critiques of Warstorm was that all the characters felt so similar whenever you read their different points of views. So this book, it felt very nice to be like, even though they all had their own separate writing styles and thought and like characterizations, it all felt within the world of this book, which I think is a hard thing to do, but I think the author did that very well. And I also enjoyed how it was kind of like a bait and switch of, if you haven't read this book, spoilers. I do think it was a very interesting to have the bait and switch of like, Alice thinks that Lottie bit her, that Lottie killed her, that Lottie turned her into a vampire. And then for halfway through the book, you find out that no, it was not Lottie, it's Sabine. And you're like, wait, oh, Lottie is a whole different character, because I don't know about you, but when I read it, I thought Lottie was Sabine, and Sabine just changed her name again to Lottie, because we know she's already changed names. That has already been established, that she can change a name and she can take on a new life. So I think that was interesting to kind of be like, and now we're in Lottie's universe. You know, I thought that was like a very interesting way to drive that story along. And I think the world building was pretty well done. The rules of this magic and how they were explained, it felt real and normal. It didn't feel like forced and shoved in. As I read this book, I wasn't the biggest fan of Alice. I was not looking forward to her chapters. You know, I was like, oh, Sabine is so full of life and she goes after what she wants, and she's so, you know, she's about it. And even Lottie, you know, she's going after things, but she has wants and needs. And I felt like Alice didn't have all these wants and needs. It felt like she just wasn't it felt like she didn't have agency, and it was like kind of frustrating to me. And so whenever the ending came and she killed both of them, I was like, well, wait, what? Like, but then as I sat and I thought about it, I was like, well, of course that makes sense. You know, she is finally taking agency of her life. She's making decisions. She's making choices. And she is ready to kind of like establish herself in what she wants. And she wants to kind of get revenge for these women who did this to her. And I think it was nice to see that change and that growth of her. So yeah, it was really cool to see that she had been kind of stuck in someone's shadow, you know, growing up and kind of like not really taking decisive action, and now being like, I am taking decisive action and going after, I have agency and I'm making a choice. And it made the ending really nice at the end, because obviously it made the ending really nice because it felt like she'd been stuck for so long, and then seeing her make that choice at the end, it was like, okay, it felt good. It felt very like, okay, like you're doing things, you're going after it. And the one thing I didn't really appreciate in this book was there were so many flashbacks with Alice, and she would just be walking and then she'd be like, oh, and that reminds me, the tree reminds me of this. I don't appreciate how many flashbacks there were. I felt like there were so many flashbacks. Yes, I understand that we needed them for context to see like how all of these moments affected her and in this decision to, you know, kill Lottie and Sabine at the end. But I just felt that there were so many. And I don't mind a flashback here and there, but it just felt like every chapter there was a flashback. And well, I guess also that makes sense though, because I was about to say, it makes Alice feel so overshadowed by who she is, which makes sense because she needs to feel overshadowed and like not like the main person, because it makes this end so much better. So anyways, it was just, I understand why we needed that context and that writing, but it was just my one little thing. So that is what I was reading and loving in December. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and get excited because we are moving to our new house today. So stay tuned for moving vlogs. Literally after this, I'm gonna have to start packing up and moving to my new place. So anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, if you could please like it and subscribe for future videos. And again, let me know, what are you loving in the month of January or in the month of December? I wanna know. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.